insights from any dataset you encounter. The mean, also known as the average, is one of the most fundamental measures in statistics. It tells us the central value of a dataset. The mean is defined as the sum of all values in a dataset divided by the total number of values. We can express this mathematically with this formula. The mean equals the sum of all values divided by the number of values. Let's work through an example with this simple dataset: 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Step 1. We add all the values together. 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 equals 30. Step 2. We count how many values we have in our dataset. We have 5 values total. Step 3. We divide the sum by the count. 30 divided by 5 equals 6. So the mean of our dataset is 6. The mean represents the central tendency of our data. It shows us the typical or average value in the dataset. In our example, 6 is the balance point of our data. It's the value that best represents the center of all our numbers. Here we can visualize our data points on a number line. The red line shows where our calculated mean of 6 falls, right in the center, representing the balance point of our data set. The median is a measure of central tendency that represents the middle value when data is arranged in ascending or descending order. Let's start with our first example using the data set, 10, 2, 8, 4, 6. First, we need to arrange these values in ascending order. When we arrange the data in ascending order, we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now we can identify the median. Since we have 5 values, the median is the third value, which is 6. This is our middle value. Now let's look at what happens when we have an even number of values. Consider this dataset with 4 values, 2, 4, 6, 8. Since we have an even number of values, there is no single middle value. Instead, we have 2 middle values, 4 and 6. To find the median, we calculate the average of these 2 middle values. The calculation is 4 plus 6 divided by 2, which equals 5. Therefore, the median is 5. Remember, for odd-numbered data sets, the median is the middle value. For even-numbered data sets, the median is the average of the 2 middle values. The mode is a measure of central tendency that identifies the value appearing most frequently in a data set. Unlike the mean and median, the mode focuses on frequency rather than position or arithmetic average. Let's examine our example dataset, 2, 4, 4, 6, 8. To find the mode, we need to count how many times each value appears. We can organize this information in a frequency table. The value 2 appears once, 4 appears twice, 6 appears once, and 8 appears once. Since the value 4 appears twice, while all other values appear only once, 4 is the mode of this dataset. Some datasets can have more than one mode. A bimodal dataset has exactly 2 values that appear with the same highest frequency. A multimodal dataset has more than 2 modes. For example, if 3 or more values share the highest frequency, the dataset is multimodal. Finally, some datasets have no mode at all. This occurs when every value appears with the same frequency, or when no value repeats. Understanding the mode helps identify the most common values in your data, which is particularly useful for categorical data and understanding data patterns. The range is a fundamental measure of data variability that tells us how spread out our data values are. It provides the simplest way to understand the span of our dataset. Let's work with a simple dataset to demonstrate how to calculate the range. Our dataset contains 5 values, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. To find the range, we first need to identify the minimum and maximum values in our dataset. The minimum value is 2, and the maximum value is 10. Now we can calculate the range by subtracting the minimum value from the maximum value. Range equals 10 minus 2, which equals 8. The range of 8 tells us that our data values span across 8 units. This gives us a quick understanding of how spread out our data is. The larger the range, the more spread out the data. The range is useful because it's simple to calculate and understand. However, it only considers the 2 extreme values and doesn't tell us about the distribution of values in between. It's a good starting point for understanding data variability. Variance measures how spread out data points are around the mean.